Find the fairway.
Pills are good. Pills are good.
Pills are good.
Maggie
Bottles are
Bell
good.
making her debut on Find the Fairway Live. I'm going to
There
stop
she
talking
is.
and let the woman in pink introduce herself. Maggie, go.
Hello. Say hello, world.
We were just getting
Hello.
lots of fantastic baby grunts here, a short bit, so she might be a little camera shy.
Might have to. We'll burp her here, so maybe she'll let a big one out for the audience.
Ty, your
That'd be
your
fantastic.
wife's taking care of your sick 1.5-year-old. You're feeding your she's making
Actually,
it up. He's
that's
not
not
actually
it.
sick.
That's actually not it. She's not even home, and
Oh.
he is sick. So I am on. I'm 2 against 1 tonight.
Is she getting you back for going to
Doubling up.
Chicago last weekend?
Probably, yeah.
You
I
think
mean, this
so?
is definitely payback, for sure. No, she's out with the mother-in-law, and yeah, I said I got it. So let's put the old super dad to the test here. There we go.
I missed you
That is
guys. My wife was gone this weekend, and I missed
Look
you
at
guys
that
more.
head.
I
All
can
right.
say that because she's not watching the show right now.
Hopefully, she doesn't check in later.
All right, guys, let's get right to it because here's what I want to talk about. All right, Scottie Scheffler, the rise was incredible. We know that the guy's by far playing the best golf of anybody in the world, and no one's going to deny that he's the best player in the world right now. My question is he the best player in the world in September after the Tour Championship, Mike?
This is a very interesting question. A lot of things at play here. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're redoing how the OWGR is done in August, and
Yes,
I think I've heard that. I don't know what the calculations are going to be like for that, but
Yeah.
there's definitely flaws in the system right now. But assuming there's no massive changes to the calculations in terms of recency bias, all of that trending with how he's been playing and his history at the majors he has played in, I'd expect some top tens there, if not a victory in one of them. I'm going with the hell yeah.
You're going with the hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm throwing it out there.
I think you've got to look at this one way. I guess two ways, because I'm gonna give you two names. Only two guys have had a faster rise to number one than Scottie Scheffler. You can guess one of them. Tiger Woods. Yep. The other one is Jordan Spieth, okay?
That's what I was going to guess.
It's Jordan Spieth. So, to me, Scottie Scheffler is going to do one of two things if he's one of those guys. Scottie Scheffler is either this generation's Tiger Woods. I'm not going to say he's not, but that's kind of a lot to say right now that Scottie Scheffler is going to be the Tiger Woods of this generation. He could be the best player for the next 10 years. We have no idea. On its face right now, I would say no, okay? So if he's not the next Tiger Woods, is he the next Jordan Spieth? What did Jordan Spieth do right after that heater?
Well, I mean, let's not even put him in that category, right? I think Jordan Spieth had how many majors by the time he was Scottie Scheffler's age?
Right.
I mean,
and to be fair, Scheffler hasn't played a major yet on his heater.
Yeah, that is totally fair. But when you're talking about meteoric rise and comparing to prodigies like Tiger, and I'm not even going to put Spieth in the same category as Tiger, but guys that win early, right? They have that knack for winning. I mean, Scottie took a long time to figure out how to win. So now that he has, I'm not going to put any pressure on him to say he's going to keep doing it. I think this could be a stretch of 3 weeks or five tournaments of fantastic golf, or it could be a brilliant year. But time and time again, we've seen that these guys, they're going to cool off sooner or later. So I'm not saying Scottie's going to be playing the best golf at the end of the year of anyone, but I think he'll be the world number one.
Yeah, I think I totally, and Maggie, I mean, she agrees as well. I think ends of the year number one for sure, but I think it's because he's creating a lead, and I think he's got a lot of momentum. For some reason, the rest of the hasn't really caught on yet. I don't know what's going on, but I guess Brooks had a pretty good week. I seem to pick on him every weekend, but yeah, I think he does. But one, he's not Tiger. That's not going to happen, and I think he definitely starts to plateau a little bit in future years. But I'm a huge fan of this dude. I mean, good person, great demeanor on the golf course. I think he's got a lot of upside, and I think he can keep it up. But yeah, to throw out Tiger, Chris, that's quite the hot take.
Well, if you were listening and not burping Maggie, that wasn't the hot take.
That was a hot take.
The
I took
point-
the
That
hot
was
take.
you
The
you
point
put them in the
was that
same
two
conversation.
guys-
That was
Two guys have done it other than Scheffler, Tiger and Spieth. And here's the deal. Okay, you guys are going to be shocked by me saying this. I hate odds. You know that I hate picking guys to win back-to-back. I hate picking guys to win back-to-back years. Mike, the odds say that Scottie Scheffler will not be world number one, but you got to look at it with a caveat. Who's going to pass him? Okay? And I've got the guys on this list. Rahm, Morikawa, Hovland. Let's put Patrick Cantlay up there too. Or Cam Smith or Justin Thomas. Who is going to pass Scottie Scheffler? He doesn't even maybe need to win again this year to continue to be number one, because one of these guys would have to overtake him with good play. And I don't know if anyone's going to see that right now.
Well, let's not sleep on, and you guys are going to be flabbergasted by this with I think he's overrated, but this is maybe one time where he's not overrated in terms of the world golf rating. But
don't.
Justin Thomas has been
Oh
playing
my God.
tremendous golf for this stretch. He doesn't have much to show for it, but I think he's a guy that can start rattling some wins off. He's done that historically, is winning bunches, right? So let's not count him out. I think we could see a Brooks Koepka resurgence.
I mean, well, Mike, I'm just as confident in Justin Thomas as I am with the two guys in the bottom of this list right now, Morikawa and Hovland. I am.
For sure.
Yeah. In Morikawa, right? He's up there in terms of points, so it won't take as much for him to overtake Scottie as it would for JT or Hovland.
Mm-hmm.
Same to be said about Rahm, but I have zero confidence in Rahm's putter right now, so I'm not even going to entertain him at this moment. In Cantlay, I think he's pretty ice cold right now, so he'll have to find it himself. And those two guys I think have their points starting to get cut down a little bit from the whole recency bias of the ratings. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I think we're going to see.
What?
You mentioned his putting. He's 138th in putting right now, and he's 168th around the greens.
He's
that tells
not
you
the Rahm he was
everything
last
about
year.
John Rahm right now. And
Yeah,
both he
for
and
sure.
Morikawa have a chance to get hot. Look at him the last 2 years, both those guys. Tons of top 10s, get a win, tons of top 10s, but then miss cuts and tie for 60th and tie for 50th.
Right.
And you're waiting and waiting. That's why I'm not really so sold, Tyler. And you may not have heard me when you were putting Maggie down. Scheffler, the odds say he's not going to be number one, but who's going to pass him, Tyler, is the question.
No,
and I don't know who on this list is the answer. I don't think any of them are.
I don't know. I mean, I think we were just talking about Victor just a couple weeks ago, saying, is he going to be the next? Is he going to win, and is he going to take over as number one? But I'm excited about this though, guys, because sorry, I'm multitasking and I'm not very good at it. I'm excited about it because I think this is where the golf season really starts. I think we're going to see. Oh wow, she's yelling at me. I think this is where. Yeah, I think this is where we're. Maggie, what is going on? I'm on air here.
I think Maggie actually likes the off season as much as I do.
Yeah, no, I think this is good. I think this is going to wake up the other guys. I think we're getting into Texas, and then we're going to start to work our way north to play the rest of the country. And the heat's going to pick up, and the rest of the guys. I think this wakes up the rest of the field to say, okay, all right, didn't see Scheffler coming and doing this. Mm-hmm. Maybe some of them did, but I think they're like, okay, yeah, it's go time now, because look, we just got overtaken. Number one player in the world is not who we're used to seeing. Granted, I think they like him, so that's all right. And I'm gonna, you know what, I would love to see at minimum 2, maybe 3 horse race here. You know how exciting that would be. I mean, granted, golf has been great in the past year or so because it's a different guy winning every single week, but I'm not opposed to this. Give me a Scheffler, who's great head to head, by the way, took down all the Ryder Cup dogs, which is great,
except for my boy Fleetwood.
Well, okay, except for Mr. 59. But to see him, do really well, and then I think Morikawa would be a guy that is going to probably make a run at him here when he figures out how to putt.
Exactly. And Mike, you mentioned Hovland. Victor Hovland might have the most potential hitting the golf ball than anybody else in the world, okay? If this dude does not dial in his short game, he's hit his ceiling. And I don't know how you can argue with that. If he is not going to get the putter to make clutch putts and to be around the greens and not be 200th in the world around the greens. He could be number one in the world, but he's got to get that fixed. And so far, he hasn't done that.
Ceiling?
Yeah, we could honestly see him still get to world number one and be the world's worst chipper at the same time.
Well, he would be hitting the ball insanely good if that was the case, Mike.
Which he is, right?
Almost.
It's incredible. But yeah, I think you know what? Just to be having this conversation and look at some of these names and, heading into this calendar year, the list of names would be very, very different. And to have 3 different world number ones, I think, between Rahm, Morikawa, and now Scheffler within probably the last 6 weeks or so. Factor that with Hovland's hot play, and then these rumors circulating about Tiger Woods walking some golf. I think we're having quite the storylines heading into the Masters.
Good call, Mike. I was going to ask you what you wanted to talk about next. Let's talk about it.
It's unbelievable.
Mike,
unreal. I didn't even know that. You had me teed up right there. But every year I'm excited for the Masters. Every year I'm ecstatic. But that's just because it's the Masters, and you usually have like 1 or 2 guys. Last year thinking it was maybe the year Spieth could get it done again. But can you believe this year all of these storylines we're hitting with? I mean, we got Tiger Woods maybe making the comeback. We got Scottie Scheffler, world number 1, 3 wins. We got Morikawa trying to get a green jacket. But I think the biggest story, and golly, I'm like a dead horse, is JT with bones on the bag. That's going to be another interesting storyline. You're all about that
for the Masters, aren't you?
You are.
I think that's
I always say,
advantage.
I always say, block out the noise. I'm making my own picks. But I have found myself in about the last month telling myself that I'm going to pick Justin Thomas at the Masters. And I'm trying to differentiate if it's because you have been telling me or if I actually believe it. And I honestly don't know what the answer is. Tyler, please talk me out of this.
Well, yeah, I don't. You think that's the missing piece for JT is he doesn't know his way around Augusta? No. That question's for Mike. No, that question's for Mike. I get that.
Not the missing piece as much as I think Bones is worth 2 strokes gained, all day long.
So let's look at Thomas's results at the Masters.
Not great. Not great. Decent. Not great. Miscut.
Recently,
not
been
great.
Pretty good.
But that's what I don't know. This might be another random year, like another Bubba year, or maybe someone from the South, maybe Grayson Sigg. I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to be
you know what? I don't think you can say a Bubba year is a random year when he's done it twice.
Yeah.
But no, I totally get your point there. I think it's either going to be Spieth or JT in the winner's circle.
Right.
Lock it in.
Ooh.
Okay. So
you're taking.
I don't know, man. 21st last year. You got 4th in 2020, but I'm sorry. No disrespect to Dustin Johnson. Best rounds of the week when he won. That course in November is different. They can mimic it all they want with a November start.
Sure,
It's different in 2020. So Thomas gets 4th in 2020. He gets 12th in 2019, 17th in 2018, 22nd and 39th. So not terrible. Really kind of knocking on the door. Just a couple of mediocre rounds that didn't really get him over the top is what it looks like.
So this is what does it. Bones unlocks.
No, let's talk about that next week. Because
in combo with how he's been hitting the ball.
Mike,
let's focus on
for
Tiger
next week
here.
Because first of all, Tiger Woods does not do publicity stunts. He's not out there. If he's walking around Augusta and trying to get a feel for if he can walk those massive hills, and if you haven't been there, they're huge. He's not out there to gain attention and people to talk about him. He is out there, if he is, to see if he can actually win the Masters. And that tells me everything about how legit he thinks he is to actually go out there and post a score. Now, I don't know if he thinks he can win, but he might play, guys. I don't think this is a farce.
Why? Why? Will somebody tell me why he's doing this?
Because that
But
man
do you
loves
think
to
that
compete.
he's exactly? Do you think that he's so hobbled that he shouldn't even be out trying this?
Okay, either he was. I mean, if you listen to everything around his Hall of Fame speech, and when they had him in the booth at his event, yeah, I mean, he said he can barely walk 9 holes, right? I mean, that's pretty much what I took away from it. And he said he was not in golf form. Fast forward 2 months, and now all of a sudden he can compete. I mean,
well,
I know
maybe
who Tiger Woods is.
Maybe he has gotten better.
And this isn't just your average PGA golf course where it's a bomber's paradise. I think Augusta has a distinct home field advantage. The more you play the course, the better you are. And it's the winner isn't always the guy that goes out and makes a ton of birdies.
There's
it's
a reason
the dudes
why
that avoid the big
2019
numbers.
happened the way it did. Absolutely.
Yeah. If there's a course that a hobbled Tiger Woods could win on, walking the hills aside, I think that's really the only issue. I think it's the Masters. So I give it a coin toss at this point in time if he'll make it or not. But he's making it a go.
Miss the cut. I mean, if he thinks he can do it, who doesn't want to see him do it? I wouldn't mind seeing him miss the cut. I don't care.
Really? See, that's where I'm
but is that why you don't want to see him? Like, you want to see him do well? Is that what you're saying?
I want to see him come out and do well and be ready. I mean, granted, he won't know if he's ready until he actually does it.
Right.
But
he has to do it.
So something's telling him he might be ready. But at the same time, nothing's going to taint his image. Nothing like that. It's just I don't want to see him come out and just crumble and then do what he's done in the past and just continue to hurt himself, back.
I'm not saying shoot 80 on Thursday and Friday. I'm saying go out there and be competitive. And if he doesn't make the cut, then he doesn't make the cut. I'm not saying going out there slaughtering every hole and looking like an idiot or an amateur. I'm just saying competing in a decent level.
Sure, I will be the first to be glued to the television.
Yes.
Quit work for the day. Like, I'm all in.
That is what I'm saying.
But I'm also the pessimist in me says, he's 80 years old. He's a partial amputee. Like I mean, like let's not push it here. I mean, I understand he's getting older, but there's just, I don't know. I just don't want to see him damage himself even more. And then next thing you know, we don't see him again until he's teeing off in the likes of Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player just on the first hole every year. You know what I mean? It's just ceremonial.
Well, next Monday night, maybe we'll be talking about him in or out of the
Masters. I hope so.
Okay. What do you think, Mike? Valero Texas Open, and the reason why I say that is because I'm going to put up a graphic for you, and you tell me if you would pick either of these guys in the bet that we're in.
I got to squint here.
I can't even see that.
Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy.
Man, do you really want to waste those guys?
But no. Okay, here's what I'm saying, and the reason why I would waste those guys. I don't think that Rory McIlroy is in a situation to win a major this year. I don't. If he's going to win, I've been saying it all along, it's going to be at a tournament like this where, yes, the competition, got to say it, is not as good as it's going to be at the Players or at a Masters or anywhere else. Okay? This is prime for Rory to win a tournament. Jordan Spieth, I don't know. Jordan Spieth is where I could see your argument about, do I want to waste him? Because I think his best days might be ahead of him. And I'm not an odds guy on winning back-to-back years, but Jordan Spieth, just something about this feels right, at least to get a top 5. Will you agree with that?
Oh, man, I feel like Spieth's working through a few swing things to get ready for Augusta. This is going to be a tune-up. No way I'm going there.
Did he say that last year?
But he was his swing was a little more established at this point last year, and his progression was good. I don't know how much you caught of him on the range and stuff, but he's definitely working through some swing thoughts. And Ty, I know you like the storyline, so that's why I'm not going Spieth. I'm letting him get comfortable with the changes he's making.
Swing thoughts, and I think mental thoughts for Rory.
Well, I think here's where I won't pick Rory. I think Rory
Scottie in
is
the
going
field?
to go absolutely ham. Scottie just WD'd.
Oh, did he really?
I think, yeah, I think Rory is going to go off later in this year. So
You-
I'm saving him for the Open or for the playoffs.
Well, I mean, yeah, the Open's been his jam, and nobody
Yeah.
realizes that, by the way. Ever since he won 8 years ago, he's been really close at the Open Championship, and people haven't given him credit for that. Every year I pick Rory McIlroy at the Masters, and because every year I say he's due, and literally every year he's gotten worse, and worse and worse, to the point where I don't know if I'm even going to pick him this year. I might pick him this week because I just have a feeling that he could come out of nowhere here.
Man.
This is his first appearance, Tyler, on this course in this event since 2013, and he got second place. He hasn't played here in a decade.
Yeah, I'm looking at the field right now, and you're right, man. This is a
Who are you going to pick?
Man.
Yep.
I mean, Corey Connors actually coming off of this past weekend, I think wouldn't be a bad person to pick in there. I don't know if Corey or Rory. I don't know if he's fighting something. I don't know if he's going to try to, pull it together. I think he just bows out and goes home and gets ready for the Masters. So I'm going with Connors this weekend. I think he
he does jump off the page for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
And
Maggie
agrees.
Maggie
She approves. So
Maggie,
yeah.
Maggie, if you're listening to me here, I'm just gonna tell you, Maggie. Sometimes, Dad Ty, he's got great things that he says. That's probably one of them. So that's some wisdom.
there.
I
but
was going to say
Right
today is not the week for that. Hey, Mike, you know what the week is for? Ricky Fowler is back in contention at the Texas Open. Gons, I'm up on you 3-1, which means 2 more, and you've got the big old penalty. 131st in the world, CT Payne.
Oh,
Ricky is falling.
That's a tough
Mike.
draw, Ricky.
He is
That's a
falling.
real tough draw.
At this point, any draw is a tough draw for Ricky. The dude is down to 130th, and I say
He's
down.
close.
I say down to 130th. He hasn't played in 3 weeks, and he actually moved up 2 in the rankings.
I gotta say, Ricky is close. He's close.
Okay, what's the rationale for that this week?
Against a bronze medalist.
Same
for
as
the
it's been,
Olympics.
man. Same as it's been. Same story. He's gonna have a resurgence. I don't know how soon, but he's close.
It won't be at the
if
Masters,
you want my
right?
reasoning, you can go back past 5 of the 6 episodes from this year and you'll hear it. But at a high level, he's bombing it further than he has. He's just got to work on his directional issues, which we all know that comes after the little swing change. You make some tweaks, and then I think his putter is gonna get back in form. And once that happens,
Tyler, we didn't have a show last week. Mike, I'm just going to cut you off there because I don't believe you. And that number is going to say that number is going to say 4 next week, and you're going to be 1 away from your penalty. Going to be the greatest day ever.
I got to frame myself
Ty,
here.
So, Ty,
Chris,
here's my what?
What?
No.
What? Go ahead.
So did you?
It's your show.
I'm shocked that you picked Sam Burns at the Valspar.
Why?
You're like me. You don't go for the back-to-back winners.
You know what? I do subscribe to that. I subscribe to that.
What was in the water that week? Because clearly you were right.
He jumped out of the page. He jumped off the page. I looked at him. I'm like, you know what, Sammy boy, you're doing pretty well. I think you got some good momentum. You're my pick this week. It was that simple. I took a lot of my. She's okay. I took a lot. I took all the BS that goes on in my head out of it, and I picked Sam, and I went with it, and it worked.
So that means I picked Jordan Spieth this week.
Go for it. But when you pick an emotional person like that, you never know, man. You never know. It'll be a roller coaster ride. Hang on tight.
That is tough because Sam's at least always in contention, and Jordan, he might be choking out Michael Greller by the end of this week. We'll see.
What? But if that makes him play better, I'm all for it. Hey, Ty, before we go, is she asleep? Is Maggie asleep?
No, she's not.
Can you give her have her wave a little Simba moment, say goodbye to everybody?
Sure.
Bye,
Can a child look into a ring light like this?
Yeah, when she's
Oh,
Oh
blind.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
she
Look at
can.
that. Look at that little nugget.
Oh,
What a
don't tell
looker.
Mitch. Good night. Good night,
Hey,
world.
world. Whoa. She's bobbing heads.
We'll see you there, or we'll see you another
Yeah.
time.